To give is to love. More than 70% of the people in the world live on less than $3,000 a year. He who does not fear change will be the first to evolve.
I didn't see you again this time either, little Peggy.
A passenger simply vanishing from an aircraft mid-flight. Does that sound possible to you?
Unbelievable.
What are you doing here?
This plane is going down!
Fucking with my fake eye, weren't you? No more messing with this puppy! I'm knocking this one out of the park!
Let him go!
Vanished? Never talk to me again.
Next time I'll break more than you watch.
Damn it.
David.
This is a story of a man with a very strange fate.
Hey, look. It's like I've grown wings.
Who are you, mister? Hey, mister, who are you?
I'm David Young. Who are you?
David? You're David? There's a spot-billed duck with her duckling over there. Let's play with them.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play D4. Last time round, David Young was on the airplane. Not the airplane that we wanted, but another one that took further place in the past. He got electrocuted, passed out, and now we're here. We might recognize this place from the very beginning of the game. This was where everything started. We got the tutorial here. This little girl was here. She does seem to know who David is. Whoever could she be? However, it seemed that she was in some danger last time we saw her. She was standing on cracked ice, and it looked like she was about to fall through. Don't know if this happens before or after that. Maybe we'll find out. There's money lying around, so we should probably take it. There's a balloon there. I should probably push it. There we go. David Young cannot stand the sight of a tethered balloon. There's a girl right here. We should probably push her. The things we do for credits. She's looking at this big snowball here. It's a boy, actually. Yeah, it does have a little metal ring coming out the top of it. We're gonna just push that out of the way. Now she's looking at nothing. Nothing! Alright, we should probably walk forward. She said that there's a duck over in the distance. Let's go look at the ducks, maybe. Yeah, she's pointing right at him. We have to make sure that we do get all the money, however, and push all the balloons. Oh, is this ice still thin? No, it's frozen. Feel sorry for whoever has to maintain these signs. Some jerk keeps pushing them over. Well, I mean, she seems happy. For whatever reason. I don't know why we're out here.
Mister, are you really David Young? You don't look like what I imagined. I heard you were really cool looking. Why do you have a beard like that? It's kind of scary.
I think that this was pretty appropriate facial hair for that conversation. She'll say it for anyone, but David's normal facial hair is that he just has some scruff going on. And I think David looks pretty cool right now, what with the leather jacket and the jeans and all that. He looks hip and happening with the times. This girl may be a little bit too happy, I'm thinking. Especially considering what almost happened to her in another time, almost falling through this ice. She doesn't seem very cautious at all.
You know, I almost died once. Can you believe it? The ice on the lake just started to crack. I was so scared. But my two dads saved me. My two wonderful dads.
Two dads. Well, I only seem to remember seeing one. During that scene, there was a man standing on the edge, like right over there. And he was the only other person we saw in that scene. I don't remember seeing a second dad. We did see the first dad run out to well, I guess it's too late for these ducks. They should have been she should have picked up the pace. Gotten to where they were going a little faster. But yeah, I don't remember there being a second dad. There was only the one guy who ran out to look like he was going to help her. I didn't see anyone else running out. Not sure if she says anything else at this point. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's sit on this bench, since that's where she wants us to go. So it's wet to sit on, but we don't care. We don't care about much of anything anymore.
What are you doing here, David?
I'm looking for something.
Something?
Yeah, something.
So, what is it?
A lead that will let me meet someone special one more time.
A lead? What does it look like?
I don't know.
What'll you do once you find it?
I'm gonna change the past.
You can't change the past, David.
Little Peggy.
You can't change the past. You do know that, don't you, David?
No. I can do it. I'm going to change it.
Time is always moving into the future. It's always been that way.
But...
You can't change the past. You just have to accept it. I belong to the past. I'm dead, David.
No!
I am dead. I am dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I am dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I am dead.
It's always this way. When I'm diving into the past, and I fall asleep, I get knocked out, I end up back here. Teddy! Teddy? Teddy! It's really gotten late. This belongs to the person who jumped me on the passenger flight. If this is a fragment of some sunglasses, then that narrows it down to only one suspect. But is he really the type to use a stun gun? It's no good. The piece aren't fitting. Little Peggy. Huh? Teddy's laptop.
Well, even though David said that this always happens, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a nightmare like that whenever he drops out of the past. Or was it a nightmare? What was that exactly? We can see that David's goal, without a doubt, is that he wants to change the past and prevents Peggy's murder, not just investigate the murder. But is that even possible? We don't know. Something else that might be of interest is that we have seen... First thing cooked, popcorn. Second thing, an egg. Which probably wasn't a good idea. We have seen that David pulled out of his pocket the piece of sunglass lens from the plane. Now, that might be the first time we've seen actual physical evidence that any of this is actually happening. I mean... well, we know that David goes into the bathroom and ends up in the bathtub, but I don't believe he's actually come back with anything as of yet, and it seems like the first time that's happened. So maybe actual evidence that he is diving into the past? And, okay, so, in Deadly Premonition, the Sinner's Sandwich was an unusual, eccentric thing to eat, and a lot of people like to do it. This seems a little bit more complicated to put this together. And maybe, I don't know, maybe not as satisfying. I don't know about that. Well, David didn't really seem to enjoy that, but it does give us a vision bonus of +5, so it's worthwhile doing. I guess we're just going to look around the apartment, look around the kitchen, just see what we can find. I mean, there's Teddy's laptop, and David did say that we should look at it, because it is odd that Teddy just left his laptop powered on, and he's not in the apartment. Then again, if we remember at the end of episode 1, we saw someone coming to the apartment, and Kaysen answered the door. Maybe Kaysen went with that person? We really have no idea who that person is at this point. But it was definitely someone that Kaysen knew. I don't think we needed those bandages. Let's head out onto the terrace. We've been out there during the day, but, you know, it's night now, so it should be kind of pretty.
The ancient Egyptians were the first to draw shapes among the stars. So beautiful. Do you think our ancestors ever imagined we'd have a star-spangled banner? Looking at the stars like this makes me feel like time has been repeating itself since long ago. Like I've met you many times, then parted with you many times. It's such a strange feeling.
Me too. Like I've met you many times. And then...
No matter how much time goes by, things just never get any easier for David when he has these maybe memories, maybe hallucinations of his wife. We can see that there's an envelope right here, and it is one of Peggy's envelopes, just left outside. It's remarkable it hasn't blown away in the wind. We should probably take a look at it. I believe we would now be on this.
David, I miss you. It's quiet at night, and I sit listening to the clock tick, marking the time until you visit me. Then, after you visit and leave for work, it's the worst feeling. Knowing I'm going to be lonely for another day, I sometimes wish you'd never come at all. Today's your first promotion since you joined the force, isn't it? I hope you're out right now celebrating. Have fun! It must be Forrest's first promotion, too. Congrats to both of you. I hope you're proud, 'cause I am. Being able to sleep in my own bed still feels like a small victory. If I've learned anything these past 2 years, it's to look at everything as a gift. Even the painful things. This sickness might be fate's way of telling me to keep on living. It's a difficult gift to handle, but as long as you're in my life, I think I can win. Right now, I'm looking forward to the both of us drinking a cold beer in the not-too-distant future, celebrating that my disease is in remission for good. Love, Little Peggy Oldman, November 9th, 2004.
Something more about a disease. We know that she didn't die from a disease. And as David has been talking about little Peggy, he hasn't mentioned anything at all about that. But it does seem that she had some kind of ailment. The soil is dry, but the credits are still flowing. And as we walk up to our phone, our save point... Oh, okay. We don't actually pay for this, it seems. It gets paid for by, I would guess, little Peggy's father. Well, which father, though? Because from what we saw, apparently she has 2 dads, but we still don't know anything about that. And below it is now, hey, another one of Peggy's letters. Going through almost all of them at this point. I think that we're up to number 7.
David, I've got a secret. I'm smiling because I want to tell you so badly, and I can't wait until you're home tonight. I was so excited when I found out that I left work immediately and came straight home. I couldn't stand to be around so many people and not tell them the news. Almost there now, me. I want you, David, to be the first one to know our secret. Amanda's been unusually affectionate today for some reason. I wonder if animals can detect a pregnancy before people can. They say cats have extra senses. I know I'm not supposed to be excited before things are much further along. There's still so much that could go wrong, and my friends say you shouldn't jinx your luck by talking about it too early. But I just can't stop smiling. I've never thought of myself as a mother before. I don't even remember my mother's face. I wonder if she was as nervous as I am now. Well, I do know one thing. You'll be a great dad, David. I love sharing my life with you. Let's head out on this adventure together. All the love in the world. Little Peggy Oldman, August 3rd, 2010.
All right, so it seems that Peggy found she was pregnant in August of 2010, and we know that she was murdered in January of 2011. All right, so I guess that's some information maybe we should tuck away in our mind. Oh, hey, there's a box at the door. There's also umbrellas that we can push. Now, as you play through D4, every so often, a delivery will come to the door. When you get it, you get a unique item, but again, I've already got all of the unique items, or rare items, as it says. There's nothing left. So, we probably will just get... Okay. Drank some soda. Hey, someone delivers a can of soda to my door. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to wonder why they did. Make sure that it's sealed and everything, but free soda. But yeah, you do get a bunch of clothes and music and such by random deliveries to the front door. So late at night. Well, maybe we shouldn't play any music because, hey, it looks like Amanda's trying to get some sleep up there, so maybe we'll leave her be. Alright, we have some new scrapbooks. I guess it's Kaysen that cycles these through, brings in the new updated issues, because David certainly is not doing that. Let's look at Discovery Magazine. Alright, Science into the Future, Crossing the Walls of Time. It has long been a dream of mankind to travel through time, from the past to the future, or from the future to the past, as easily as making another kind of trip. This concept, generally called time travel, had once been considered something that would remain forever in the realm of science fiction. However, in recent years, a variety of research has been conducted into time travel, and it has already been proven that, theoretically, time travel is possible. That said, the methodology lies outside the general concept of time travel, with an inability to go to the past, with travel only possible into the future, and that travel itself taking a long time. This kind of time travel into the future is theorized to be possible in a number of ways. In these pages, we're going to introduce a method of time travel that uses speed. There's a famous thought experiment called the light clock that deals with this concept. Imagine a tube with a light emitter at one end and a light receiver at the other. If the tube is 1 second long, a length that requires 1 second for the light to cover, the light will reach the receiver 1 second after the emitter emits it. If this tube is then moved sideways incredibly quickly, the distance the light from the emitter will have to travel to reach the receiver will become longer than 1 light second, and so the light should no longer reach the receiver in 1 second.
However, the speed of light is uniform, and therefore the time it takes for a second to pass inside the tube will remain the time it takes for the light to travel between the emitter and the receiver. That means the flow of time inside the tube will be slower than the flow of time outside. This means that if you were to create a vehicle that can travel at incredible speeds and then spend time inside of it, you would have traveled into the future once you stepped outside again. However, incredible cost and technology would be required in order to create such a vehicle, and so, unfortunately, it currently lies beyond the scope of human possibility. However, in the future, these issues may be resolved and time travel might well become a reality. When that happens, would you have the bravery to take a one-way trip into the future? And what future would lie beyond a future in which time travel is already possible? So talking about time travel, but the kind of time travel that you can only go into the future and you can't come back. And that's the opposite of what David wants and what he apparently is already doing. Let's look at what's happening in the economy. Alright, let's talk about BitJoules. BitJoule is a digital virtual currency that can be used for any and all transactions in any country, so long as both of the involved parties agree. If you have a computer and the special excavation software called Golden Pick, anyone can create, BitJoules. So, why doesn't inflation occur, and how is a stable supply maintained? The secret lies in the Golden Pick itself. This mining software not only manages the assets of the users performing the mining, but also controls the distribution volume and point of issue of BitJoule, along with overall reserves. As users increase and the market becomes more active, adjustments are made to keep the market flush with BitJoule. And on the other hand, if volume increases too much, then further mining is restricted. This system means that the total volume of BitJoule in the world will remain constant even if the number of users mining it suddenly increase, and this maintains the value of the currency. At a glance, this looks like a system that will quickly collapse, but it actually has a clever system in place to maintain the value of the currency. This software is also completely open source, and this fair and secure system is the aspect that our magazine believes set BitJoule so far apart from other digital currencies. It's definitely another prime example of the requirement for reliability and trustworthiness, even in the digital world. Wow, computer-generated currency, you say? Gotta look into that. Alright, we can see that Amanda is sleeping on top of the TV. Apparently it's because she's cautious.
My little Shoppa is still sleeping. I'll leave her to her dreams.
It asked, is someone here? We know that someone came to the door. I wonder what happened after that. Well, it looks like she's holding something. She's got some kind of box. But I guess she's just going to go, right back to sleep. Anything on TV?
I won't disturb her. There's nothing on TV at this time of night anyway.
And it seems the only thing we actually watch are cartoons. That's Sebastian the Sleuth cartoon. Let's throw a log on the fire. It's getting low. I guess anywhere to dispose of the gum is as good as anything else. Let's see, and we get some money for doing that.
And Teddy has stocked the bookshelves over here with a couple more magazines. In the right field stands at Fenway Park, there's one seat painted red. Known as the Lone Red Seat, it marks the spot where the longest recorded home run hit in the history of the park landed, knocked there by the greatest hitter who ever lived, Ted Williams, in 1946. Now, the stadium has seen a home run that came close to matching this record. On May 8, fresh-faced rookie Tom Taylor hit his first ever home run in Fenway Park after making his debut in the majors. It was the bottom of the 7th, 2 outs with 1 on base, and Taylor took a mighty full swing at the very first pitch. The hit sailed over the outfield and landed high in the right stands. It achieved such distance, in fact, that some immediately thought it had cleared the distance record, but unfortunately it actually touched down 1 row in front of the Lone Red Seat. Taylor just missed out on the record. In the moment of the pitch, I swung before I even had time to think. My body was ahead of my head. Those are the moments that almost always turn out as a home run, Taylor commented. This rookie obviously has supreme confidence in his hitting ability. In regard to failing to match the record, Taylor did comment, "It's a shame I didn't beat the record," but also displayed satisfaction with his still impressive home run achievement. "I'm just glad I could make a contribution to the team." Some baseball trivia. I guess David is into baseball himself. I mean, he was able to swing Suki's leg quite impressively. Uh-oh, it's time for Mickey Norman's Twilight Report number 3. I arrived in Boston, tracking the mysterious incidents of spontaneous combustion, and obtained information that the victims were all drug addicts. Could their poison of choice have some connection to the conflagration that claimed their lives? However, rationally speaking, I can't believe there's any drug in the world that can cause a fire inside the body of the user. This case, however, is already far away from anything I would call rationality. In order to obtain further information about this drug that turns you into a god, I used my connections in certain quarters to arrange an introduction with a specialist in the field. The stage of our secretive meeting was a bar in the city, and the man, a former drug pusher who asked to be called only N. I immediately asked him about the drug that turns you into a god. According to N, the term drug that turns you into a god is the common description applied to a series of drugs with a long history, the blood series. It's been quite a while since blood first appeared on the market, but the flow has supposedly continued since that time, gradually evolving along the way. N, retired from drug dealing, could offer no current information on the presence of blood in the market, but confirmed that prior to rethinking his life just a few years ago, it could still be found by those in the know. Finally, and I am not too ashamed to admit, dear reader, paragon of journalism though you know me to be, somewhat hesitantly, I asked about the one responsible for the distribution of blood. After that build-up, however, the reply was something of a disappointment. The distribution route for blood has apparently always remained a complete mystery. I parted ways with N, returned to my hotel, and that is where I am now writing this. My talk with the reformed, or otherwise, criminal revealed that the drug that turns you into a god is called blood, but also failed to provide my next lead. It feels like maybe I've missed my chance to solve this highly combustible mystery, but I'm not going to give up just yet. I hope you'll look forward to my next update. Alright, so Mickey Norman interviewing someone who goes only by N. stating that the source of real blood, where it comes from and how it gets distributed, has always been a mystery. It seems that even people in the chain don't know for sure where it comes from. Alright, we've looked around. Let's, we haven't looked at the kitchen table yet. David's place to think. Let's see if he has any more thoughts for us now. Yeah, we can look at the casebook.
The first on the scene was Dr. August Oldman, the man who raised little Peggy. The shock was so great, it turned his hair white overnight. According to his testimony, by the time he found Peggy, I wasn't there anymore. As luck would have it, someone had already taken me to the hospital and stuck me in the ICU. After recovering and returning home, I found him there.
How did it come to this? David Young, do you think the past can be changed?
At that moment, all I could do was stand there. But now...
So that's Peggy's father? And apparently his hair turned white overnight at the news of her death. But when we saw Peggy's father back in the prologue, when she was a child, I mean, his hair was already white. And he didn't look quite like the guy we just saw there.
You hear about David? Seems he has no memory of the night of the incident.
According to his statement, the only thing he does remember are the final words of the victim.
What did she say?
Look for D.
D? Bet you it's D for David.
Well, that seems like a pretty dark joke, considering, you know, that she just died at that point. But okay. Yeah, maybe D stands for David. Some people have speculated on that. I kind of wonder, though, whatever Peggy meant, you kind of wonder why she would have said D instead of a full name. We assume D is an initial. We don't know that, I suppose.
That watch. You really do wear it every day. I bought that watch with my first paycheck. You said you'd treasure it forever. For good luck. So you'll come back safely to me again, my David.
A little detail that you might have noticed is that the watch that David wears is broken. You can see that the face is shattered. I guess that explains why. It was a gift to him from Peggy, so he never takes it off. Yep, and sometimes the only thing that helps is liquor. And of course, sometimes it just causes him to hallucinate, as we saw that.
Drink tequila. Peggy, who didn't drink, would join me with cranberry juice and bubblegum. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so I'd always poke fun at it. And look at me now, chewing this sweet gum and thinking about it.
I think also some people had wondered if David chewed gum, even though he doesn't like it, because he was thinking about Peggy. And I guess that kind of confirms it. Alright, I think we've looked at, well, everything in the immediate area. If there's anything else, I think we can look at it later. For right now, let's take a look at Teddy's laptop, and it has a password which is the same as before.
Murders related to real blood.
Look for D.
Well, that's the first time we've heard the actual line said by Peggy. So if you were wondering if Look for D was something that David misheard, I think you can judge for yourself now that you've heard the line coming from her. Now, what could Kaysen's password be? Well, I mean, what else could it be?
Why does he even bother with a password? He's using geographical profiling. BPD, the hockey rink, Diana's cafe, the Oldman Clinical Research Lab, this apartment, and the house little Peggy grew up in. Teddy, just what the hell are you investigating? Morning, little Peggy.
Good morning, David. Yeah. Don't push yourself too hard. So, don't keep me in suspense. Tell me, how's the case going?
The mementos are all gone.
What? How'd that happen?
Someone attacked me.
What kind of attack?
Felt like electricity. Stun gun or something. Knocked me right out.
So we're back to square one.
No. I do have this.
Doesn't look like much.
What it looks like is a lens from some sunglasses.
And what does that mean?
Tell me, Teddy. Do federal marshals use stun guns?
At their discretion, maybe.
But why would Derek Buchanan use one? That muscle-bound, hard-headed old schooler.
I don't know. Must have been an on-the-spot kind of thing.
Changing the subject, Teddy. Can I ask you something?
Alright, asking about what happened last night. Where was Kaysen? How was dinner? Or was someone here? Well, I mean, David doesn't know that, but he could suspect it due to, Amanda seeming cautious. So, let's ask about that.
Did someone come here last night?
What makes you think that?
Amanda's sleeping on top of the TV. She's shy around new people.
Oh, yeah, okay. Someone did. Just an informant for a case I'm working on. Don't make that face, David. I'm sorry for calling him here, all right? Forgive me, all right? Huh? Oh, yeah, just forget about all that, all right? Right now, you need to concentrate on the case of the vanishing courier. This one is linked to D. That's what my gut tells me. My detective gut. Not my beer one.
Alright, so Teddy's seeming to want to not talk about that subject. Alright, I guess it's true that the important thing is that we need to find some kind of evidence that we perhaps could use as a memento, because we've lost our mementos.
It's no good. I can't find anything.
I mean, David pulled out that piece of sunglass lens, but if that was a memento, he would have said so. It doesn't seem like we have any left. Then again, Amanda is looking pretty intently at that baseball, isn't she? That envelope's back. That's not a new one. That's the one we already got. I don't know why it respawns, but it does. Maybe we should ask Amanda to give us that baseball. By the way, the observations coming out that slowly are what happens when you're looking at an observation for the first time. For some reason, this observation of Amanda never saves as being done, so whenever I play it again, it'll just come up as not being done. That's not really important right now. What is important is getting this baseball.
Hey, Amanda, where'd that ball come from?
Alright, Amanda does not want to give us the ball, so I guess we're going to have to just take it. Sorry, Amanda.
Whoa! Amanda? Be a good girl and hand that over. Give it back! Come on! Ow! Oh, ow, ow! Wait! Flames over this deal! Eat this. You can't hide from me. Hey, that tickle.
What? Not enough salt.
That's it. Good girl. Just stay still.
Quit it! Stop throwing stuff! Now that's expensive! Hold it!
Oh! David! Are you gonna destroy the entire house?
You could help out, you know!
Yes, gotcha!
Now, Teddy!
This is the end, Amanda.
Give me the ball! David! No! I don't think so!
Teddy, this is a memento.
A memento? The baseball? How come? How the hell did that get in among the evidence anyway?
Because I got involved in its past. I changed this ball into a memento. Maybe I really can change the past.
David.
We're restarting this investigation. I've made the connection, little Peggy.
All right, so hope has been regained. David Young has found another memento, and actually it's one that perhaps wasn't a memento before, but became one because of what we did in the past. So perhaps this has given David even more hope that the past can actually be changed, despite everyone else telling him that it can't. All right, well, I mean, if we have a memento, that means we can dive. But we're in the kitchen with Teddy, which also means... Shoes are wet, the park at night. Is that where he went off to, I wonder?
Waste of a good breakfast.
Well, I guess let's talk with Kaysen about what he knows about this whole case. What about the DEA?
So the DEA was also protecting the courier?
Yeah, you could say that.
I thought as much. So why didn't you tell me?
Wasn't hiding it. Just thought too much information at once might confuse you.
Teddy, you've got to be kidding me. I got a gun shoved in my face, thanks to your little omission.
I believe the reason David is bringing up the DEA is because when Olivia did point the gun at him, I believe we could see her badge, and that is where David is getting this from, that she is a DEA agent. So let's talk about Olivia Jones.
Do you know the name of the agent they were using?
I can find out, sure. For now, I only know that there are two of them.
One is Olivia Jones. She had a gun, so there's no question about her.
That leaves one more. You can find them on your own, right?
I've already got a solid hunch.
Yeah, I think we might be able to assume who the second agent on the plane was. So what about the this collaboration between the Boston PD and the DEA?
Just how in the loop is the BPD anyway?
Enough to carry out a joint investigation. Let's leave it at that.
But you don't even know the agents' names.
That's for their own protection. I don't need to tell you that undercover work is life and death stuff. Who wouldn't want to keep their names hidden, huh?
That is a good point. I guess let's talk about Real Blood and Murders.
Have you been investigating the link between Real Blood and the murder cases?
Yeah, something caught my attention.
Isn't that Homicide's job?
No, it's all narcotics.
Is it related to this case?
Maybe in the big picture. But you don't need to worry about that now. Just concentrate on the missing courier.
Kaysen does not seem to want to tell us too many details about what his investigation actually is. We saw some of it in his casebook, but, Kaysen feels that perhaps maybe it would be inappropriate to talk about that at this time. What about little Peggy?
Do you think little Peggy's case is also connected to real blood?
Who knows? Listen, David, new cases happen every day. Which cases are connected to each other and how? We spend every waking moment of our lives trying to figure out that stuff. Don't hurry to an answer. The truth isn't gonna run away.
And I guess with us being able to dive into the past, time is on our side. What's that about gifts, though?
If you had a special power, a gift, would you want to change the past?
You know, for everything I want to change, there's something else in my past that I couldn't bear to lose. All you can do is accept the past and move on.
But what if it's too hard to accept?
Even if you managed to change that one little bit, it wouldn't be enough to change your life.
I guess Kaysen adheres to the idea that we're made of our memories and our experiences, and losing something, even if it's to change something else for the better, would make us a different person. Kaysen clearly feels that David should not be trying to change the past, possible or not. What can we do now?
All you can do now is accept the past. That's why you need to find the courier's evidence. That's how you'll resolve your past. And I'll do whatever I can to help you.
So it's not a matter of changing the past, it's a matter of resolving it, closing the books on it. And for what we saw back on the frozen lake, little Peggy seems to agree. Let's talk about this sunglasses fragment we have.
When I was attacked, Derek Buchanan was the only one on the plane wearing sunglasses. We had a little encounter prior to that as well. I was also close to his seat when I was attacked.
Sounds like the marshal is the one who attacked you then.
Maybe, but it still doesn't make sense to me.
He was killed in the line of duty. He may have been involved in something really bad.
I mean, it may not make sense to David, but he's not really bringing up how we were kind of a jerk to Derek. I mean, Derek is kind of a hard man, but we were not exactly being cordial to him. What's this about Initial D, though?
The marshal's name starts with a D.
Even more suspicious.
But let's say he is the boss behind Real Blood. Why would he go out of his way to make contact with Zapatero then?
I don't know.
If he wanted to shut him up, he could just send out someone else.
What if he didn't want anyone else to see the courier's evidence? Or maybe he wanted to execute the guy himself for some reason. I mean, it sounds plausible to me.
We still don't actually know what this evidence was that Zapatero had, so I guess we can't determine why someone would want to shut him up, because we really don't know what it was he was going to say or be able to demonstrate at all. What reason do you suppose someone might try to take out Zapatero?
Execute the guy himself. Teddy. Why would he want to do that?
I don't know. What if it was you?
Me? Revenge. That's the only thing I couldn't trust anyone else.
Revenge? Yeah, certainly a possibility. But there were no past points of contact between the marshal and the courier.
Alright, so David, he probably knows something about the idea of getting revenge. Wonder if Derek does as well. He was carrying that photo of his family.
That reminds me. The marshal had a picture of his family.
What's so special about that?
You said all his belongings were unclaimed and set to be disposed of. That's how I was able to get my hands on his badge.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'd have to investigate a bit more. But maybe he's estranged from his family for some reason.
It's true, no one did claim Derek's possessions. But he seemed to be a family man. He was looking adoringly at that picture of his wife and daughter, so what's going on there? I guess we don't have an answer as of yet, but how about let's talk about that mysterious electric shock that knocked us out.
The electricity that shocked me felt a little different from a stun gun.
What do you mean?
I never felt the electrodes. When I was hit by a stun gun in training, I remember feeling the electrodes first. I didn't feel anything back there. It was as though the electricity in the air came alive and struck me.
This all happened in a split second, right? You sure you aren't, overanalyzing this?
Nah.
Well, I guess we can't make any conclusions as to what that electricity was. We just know that someone was standing outside the restroom door. We don't actually know how David was shocked, I suppose. But hey, time for the most important thing of all. Where is the breakfast, Teddy?
Huh. What do you think just got knocked over?
Well, I mean, we didn't get to eat it, so we still need breakfast.
David, are you out of your mind? You waste what I make, and then you ask me to make you more.
Just some coffee will be fine.
Oh, why do I even bother? Fine. Can't start a good day without a good breakfast. Now sit down. I'll let you off easy today.
What happened with Diana?
Why are you asking me that?
You've hardly touched your meal.
You know how it is. Same old, same old.
Something more serious than clam chowder this time?
This one's a bit different. It'll be okay, David, all right? Things just got a little bit complicated right now. It'll work itself out.
It will?
Yeah, it will.
Still, I can't help but feel that all you two ever do is fight. And you never even seem to entertain the notion of splitting up. You've got quite a strange relationship.
Well, I may have met her here, but we're both from New York originally. We think alike, you know?
So then why all the fights?
I guess. It's probably my fault. Take, if you will, this hot dog. What's this Frank made from, huh?
Pork, right?
That's right. Here in Boston, when you say hot dog, people think pork. But in New York, it's all about beef. In other words, for Diana, even hot dogs mean beef.
She doesn't like that you eat pork hot dogs?
She thinks I've forsaken my hometown. She can't forgive me for that, so she gets all tough on me.
So she loves you, but she also loves her hometown just as much.
Yeah. Will I ever be able to win out against the Big Apple?
God only knows.
You said it.
And our reward for counseling Teddy in his just difficult trouble reconciling beef hot dogs and pork hot dogs with Diana, is his report on the rise of the New Blood series strains. 2004 was a nightmare of a year for those involved in the case. The rapid influx of BC's blood cell was followed almost immediately by the appearance of new strains, one after the other. B2s, blood cell 2.0, B3s, B4s. With each generation, further strains spread. Due to the common element of there being a red powder, they came to be known as the Blood series. Due to the extreme high and so-called divine physical reaction, the drugs quickly created many addicts, in turn leading to a rapid increase in victims suffering terrible final moments. The flow was restricted, with clear market control and the disparity of the victims impeding the investigation. No arrests have been made yet. Abuse of the blood series has an extremely high mortality rate, but the direct cause of death is extremely limited. In the lab, they have been shown to be drugs with effects that modern medicine remains unable to explain, such as bringing dead mice back to life or curing cancer in a matter of hours. Opposing this, a large number of bizarre deaths have also been reported. Burnt alive by seemingly spontaneous combustion, drowned in own bodily fluids, even extreme and irregular muscle contractions reducing an individual to a 40-centimeter cube. The reasons for all of these are unclear, but in many cases, users who experienced no problems with one strain of the blood series then quickly died after using a different strain, leading to reports of selective compatibility and rejection reactions. Mortality rates for a single version display equivalency with other drugs, allowing those with a compatibility for a certain strain to become addicted to it. Then, however, the version changes. Users move to the new blood series because it's easier to get, and that is the one that kills them. The chance of being compatible with all versions is said to be just 9%. The rapid development of the blood series over such a short space of time is certainly something to be afraid of. September 2004. The grotesque crime scenes and bizarre deaths due to the blood series were placed under strict media control, but a leak to the mass media finally brought it out into the open. The restrictions collapsed, and the drug became a social problem, falling into the hands of everyone, including students. The city moved to catch up with popular opinion, and this led to the establishment of a special narcotics department inside the BPD. Detectives were selected from inside the department for the unit, and the full force of resources poured into the exposing the blood series. The number of blood series versions discovered that year was 14, and the total number of deaths increased to 745. Alright, so some interesting facts about real blood, such as it can bring mice back to life and cure cancer, but only in select cases. Most of the time, it just kills you in some incredibly horrible way. And even if you can survive one type of it, it's very unlikely you will survive the next strain that comes along. It said there's only a 9% probability of someone being compatible with every kind of real blood. Well, that's quite an interesting drug, and that medical science cannot actually explain how it works, what it does, what it's made of, where it comes from. It's a complete mystery. Everything about it. From where it comes from to its impossible effects. But right now we have a memento, and we can go back into the bathroom and dive back to the airplane. But for right now, I think it's about time to call in, save the game, and we'll come back with more of Let's Play D4 as we head, I would assume, back to the airplane. We do have a baseball from the airplane, of course, so it would seem likely that that is where we're going back to hopefully solve this case of what happened to Antonio Zapatero. I'll see you next time.
Murders... Changing the subject, Teddy. Can I ask you something? You didn't go home last night, did you?
That's not unusual for me.
But you always go back home. On nights when you fight with Diana.
Me and her, we've been together a long time. I got a feel for which, fights are best to stay away from a little longer. Look, I'm telling you the truth. We have our own way of doing things, that's all. Huh? Oh, yeah, just forget about all that, all right?
What did you eat last night?
I didn't eat anything.
So then why Is there a dirty dish in the sink?
Oh, I can't fool you, can I? I ate some donuts, all right? God help me. Just some donuts! Give me that look. Give me a break, will you? You know, maintaining this manly physique isn't easy. Oh. Oh, yeah, just forget about all that, all right?
Oh! Amanda? Be a good girl and hand that over. Give it back! Come on! Damn it! Wait! You can't hide from me.
Hey, that tickles.
Get off! That's it. Good girl. Just stay still. Quit it! Stop throwing stuff! And that's expensive! Huh? Hold it! Oh!
David! Are you gonna destroy the entire house?
You could help out, you know! Yes, gotcha! Now, Teddy!
This is the end, Amanda.
Give me the ball! David! No! I don't think so! What?